I'm visiting Spain from the United States, where I teach at Johns Hopkins University, and I also chair the Market Surveillance Committee of the California Independent System Operator. California was the first state in the United States back in 1995 to restructure its electric utility industry. And it has been a very complicated journey since then. And I'm honored to speak at this conference about what that journey has been. The issues that we had in 2000 during the California crisis are very different than the issues today. So I talk about what happened in 2000, in which we had a bad market design together with certain events that created a shortage, a temporary shortage of electricity, and they combined to create opportunities for companies to raise prices by an average of about 200%, far higher than the prices, for example, experienced here in Spain in January when prices hit 100 euros per megawatt hour. They went up to 1,000 in California. So the problem then was a bad market design together with market power. So we learned how to correct that, how to have a better market design, for example, with more forward contracting. So there is less incentive to manipulate the day ahead or real-time market to increase the price. Because if you increase the price, most of your output is already contracted, so you don't really benefit that much by manipulating the market. Now, 15 years after the crisis, the issues have changed a lot. We now have a target of 50% renewable energy in California by the year 2030, renewable electricity. We also have the United States' first greenhouse gas limitation law. There are now other states that have it, but we were the first. And so we need to design an electric system that will be more sustainable, will still be reliable with 50% renewables. And at the same time, we have other challenges as well. Another challenge is regional integration. In Europe, you already have an EU-wide electricity market day ahead. In the Western United States and Canada, we have 38 separate balancing authorities who do a very bad job of coordinating. There is tremendous opportunity to lower costs and make better use of renewables if we merge markets. So for us, we are way behind Europe, but we are now integrating, but it's bringing problems. We want to integrate in a way that is still sustainable, that increases renewables, not coal power. And we have the politics that none of the states in the West particularly like California, and they're afraid California has too much political power. So renewables, greenhouse gases, regional integration. The fourth challenge we have today is the large gap between our bulk power market, which is very efficient in operations, and the distributed market on the distribution low voltage grid, where we have some very inefficient incentives for investment. So for example, my son who lives in California pays 40 American cents per kilowatt hour as a retail rate. So that's comparable to what Germany pays. And so of course, living in a sunny climate, unlike Germany, there is a tremendous incentive to install solar panels on the roof. The solar panels and associated systems on the roof cost 3 times as much as building solar panels for the bulk system in the desert. So if you build a large solar development in the desert, it costs 1/3 as much. However, because of inefficiencies in pricing, bulk power prices are something like, on average, 5 cents. Retail prices are 40 cents. So it turns out that even though rooftop solar panels for the house are 3 times as expensive, there's a tremendous incentive to build those but not the bulk PV systems in the desert. Now, if 40 cents was the true value of power and the distribution system, that would be okay. Maybe you're lowering resistance losses, maybe you're deferring distribution investment. But the fact is that in most places, the marginal value of power in the distribution grid is not 40 cents, but more like 5, 8, 10 cents. So we have a large gap between the marginal social value and the price. And that difference is what makes rooftop solar so economic and profitable relative to renewable development in the central grid. So the fourth challenge that we have, besides more renewables, regionalization, the greenhouse gas, is integration of the bulk and distribution systems. And one of the first things we have to take care of is finding more balanced incentives so that we build the right type of generation resources in the right places. Otherwise, we may have a more sustainable system, but the cost will be much higher than necessary. And the way I always put it to environmental groups and others is that if we attain our sustainability goals efficiently, we can afford to go further. We can lower our emissions even more. It's never a good idea to waste money.